Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys some remaining free agents that the Redskins should target and also some potential offseason trades that the Redskins might make. If you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content, so let's get into it. So, I'm going to be giving you guys a few free agent targets on offense and some free agent targets on defense because the Redskins still have a few spots available on the roster and they are most likely gonna fill those spots with some veterans. So, I think we're going to see those post training camp or during training camp if we see a couple injuries. I think it's very likely. And then after the free agent targets, I'll talk about some potential trades that we might make this offseason. So, number one free agent target, not necessarily number one on my list, but Rashad Jones. Rashad Jones played for Miami his whole career, has played pretty good. Last year only played in 4 games, but if you look at the last 2 years in 2017 and 2018, played in 16 and 13 games, had a combined 5 picks, had a touchdown, and then also had 122 tackles in 2017, made the Pro Bowl in 2017, made the Pro Bowl in 2015, can play free safety, strong safety, so it would be a good fit for the Redskins. Again, I doubt we're going to go after him. It is a possibility, though. Most of the free agents on the market right now are going to be going for very cheap because the market's dried up. The only players that might make a lot of money are Logan Ryan and Jadeveon Clowney, but they're still not going to make the money that they want. But I think Rashad Jones would be a pretty good fit. He's a veteran leader, has been around the league for a long time. He isn't, and he's 31 years old. That's not that old yet. So I think it would be a very good player for us. And last year, you look at the completion percentage he allowed, 83%, but he only got targeted 12 times. So and he was injured for most of the season. But if you look at the year before, he allowed a 56%, which is pretty good, and a 66 pass rating. He was also last year playing with the Miami Dolphins in the first few games when they were terrible. So next player is Darqueze Dennard. I'm not going to be talking about him for too much because I've talked about him a while. I really like him. I think if we could get him for a few $1,000,000, you saw Eli Apple, who's been on this list before for me. He got picked up, I think, by the Panthers for a 1 year, $4 million deal. So I think Darqueze Dennard would be around that price, and I think he's better than Eli Apple. He's a veteran, 28 years old. Last year didn't play great. Played in 9 games, started 5 of them, 5 pass deflections, 37 combined tackles. If you look at the advanced stats, allowed a 48.6% completion percentage, which is very, very good. Allowed a 74.5 pass rating, also not bad at all too. So he played pretty good. I think he would be a perfect veteran for us. And he's still, like I said, relatively young, 28 years old. He's 5'11", 205 pounds. Not bad size either, but I think he would be good if we can get him on a small contract, a few $1,000,000. So yeah. The next guy I have on my list is Eric Reid. And Eric Reid is a little bit of a risky player to get. He played with Carolina for the last 2 years under Ron Rivera, but last year, the reason why I'm saying is risky, he did not play good. Even though he had 130 tackles, his coverage stats were absolutely atrocious. He did play in all 16 games and had 4 sacks and had 130 tackles, and 7 tackles for loss. But if you look at his stats, he allowed a 77% completion percentage, 150 pass rating, and allowed 8 touchdowns. So that's a little bit of an off year for him. He played a lot better in 2018 as a more of a free safety. So I think it would be a little risky, but he could end up being good. He's made the Pro Bowl before in his rookie year with the 49ers. So I think it wouldn't be that bad. We'll see, though. I think if the market is still dry enough there, I think, or it right after training camp or around training camp, then I think we might go after Eric Reid. So those are three or two safeties and a cornerback. We're gonna go through one more cornerback, and then we're gonna start to go through some offensive players. And we got one really exciting offensive player that we could end up getting. So the next player is Ross Cockrell, 6 foot, 190 pounds, played for the Panthers last year, so would bring some familiarity to the Redskins, or he's familiar with Ron Rivera, knows what to expect. Played in 14 games last year, started 11, had 2 picks, 70, returned it for 70 yards, and played pretty good the year before. Had 3 picks and 2 picks in Pittsburgh. So really good young player. He's 28 years old. You look at his advanced stats, also pretty good. Allowed a 55% completion percentage, 68.6 passer rating, and only allowed one touchdown last year. So I think he would be a good cornerback if we sign him. I'm not sure if he would end up starting, but I definitely think he would be very good cornerback depth, which we would need. So I would not be mad with signing Ross Cockrell. I think he would be a veteran minimum deal, very, very low price, 1 mil, 2 mil, anything around that, a 1 year, 2 year deal, and we would get him for very cheap. So now let's go on to the offensive players. So I'll start with the most exciting guy, Josh Gordon as a wide receiver, and I know he has so many off the field issues, but he is, if we can sign him, I think, and we can get him with no off the field issues, and I know that's a big if, it would pay off a ton. Last year, he didn't play much, was off and on with off the field issues, but he's played in 11 games, 426 yards, so played decent, a lot better than some of the players we had last year. I think that would have been our second leading receiver last year, and then in 2018 had 737 yards with the Patriots. That was really his last year where he really played and played a lot. Every game he played in, he started. So that was a great year for him. And then if you look at his years in Cleveland, really the only years he actually played, his rookie year had 800 yards, and then his second year he had 1,600 yards, guys, and 9 touchdowns. And the next year he was actually playing pretty good, doing better than he did in his rookie year, and then had those off the field issues, like I said. And I know it's a big if, but I think all the teammates that he's played with love him, and I think if we could get him without these off the field issues, I would like to get him. And I know that's a big if, like I said, but I think he would be a good addition to the team. He's a big receiver, 6'3", 225 pounds, could be on the outside, and we could get him again for very, very cheap, and I think he would help contribute right away. Probably could start opposite of Terry McLaurin, but we might want to develop our young receivers, and that's fine. But I think if we want to win this year, I think Josh Gordon would be a great player. And I know it's a big if. So next is Delaney Walker. I've talked about him for a while now, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But he would be better than any tight end we have on the roster. Even last year had 215 yards in 7 games. And if you look at his 2017, 2016, 2015 seasons, where he was still pretty old, 31 to 33 years old, he had 1,000 yards, 800 yards, and 800 yards again. So he's still not too far away from his best years. And last year, if he would have ended up staying healthy for most of the year, he probably would have gotten like 500 yards, 500, 600 yards. So I think if he stays healthy, which isn't a huge if, because it's his health problems has really only been his last 2 years. If you look at really 2007 till 2017, he was healthy. He just really didn't start, or he started to get hurt in 2018. But he's still a free agent and is a good veteran. Might be able to develop Thaddeus Moss and our young tight end. So next, Taylor Gabriel. I would love to sign Taylor Gabriel, sorry, but he's solid, still young, and last year had 350 yards, but was playing with Mitch Trubisky. Played in half the game, or a little less, or a little more than half the games, playing in 9 games, and didn't play bad. 40 yards a game, which is not bad. But if you look at his 2018 year, where he played with Mitch Trubisky, and Trubisky was playing a little better than he did, or a lot better than he did last year. He had about 700 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I don't think it would be a bad signing. He's gonna play in the slot, a really good wide receiver depth. I don't think he would start. I think that job would be Steven Sims' job, but he would be really, really good depth in case Steven Sims gets hurt or another receiver gets hurt. He's a good guy. Still kind of young, 28 years old, and I would not be mad if we signed him. So the last player before we go on to the potential offseason trades is Kelvin Beachum. He's 6'3", 310 pounds almost, and he is still pretty. He's not young, but he's 30 years old. Played decent last year with the Jets. Played 13 games, started all of them, and when he was with the Jets in 2018, also started 16 games and 2017. So he's a decent tackle, definitely better than anything we have right now. So I would not be mad if we signed him. I think he would be our starting left tackle. Or if you have Sadiq Charles and Sadiq Charles is playing really good, then you could start Sadiq Charles at left tackle and start Kelvin Beachum instead of Morgan Moses at right tackle. But I don't think Ron Rivera wants to spend big money. I don't think he would be that much money, but you never know. Another offensive lineman, Jason Peters, but he's probably going to go more than the veteran minimum. And same thing with Larry Warford, probably too expensive for Ron Rivera and Kyle Smith, but I would not be mad if we signed them. So now on to the offseason trades. Some of you guys requested this, so I don't really see us making a big trade this offseason, but a couple names that pop up is obviously Ryan Kerrigan could end up happening at the trade deadline if nothing gets worked out, if we're not doing too well and a contender is willing to give up a big really good pick for him, maybe a third round pick, then we might have to consider doing that. But if it doesn't happen, I don't really see us making a trade, and this would only be at the trade deadline, I think. But I highly doubt we trade Ryan Kerrigan. And the last guy is Adrian Peterson, and or more the running back group in general. If everyone's healthy, these guys, Bryce Love, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, they're all balling out before or during training camp and before the season, then there's a possibility we ship out Peterson before the season or before the trade deadline. But again, I highly doubt it. I don't see many offseason trades any trades in the offseason this year, but you never know. Again, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you agree with the offseason trade or any of the free agents you liked. If you guys are new, subscribe and turn on those post notifications, and peace.